as women, we are very much conditioned by society to attribute our own self-worth and value to our purity from a very young age. And I'm just curious as to how you, in your mind, kind of flipped that script from an early age and instead empowered yourself to take advantage of a market, an industry that you knew people were making money in, and not to have your own self-worth validated by men in the way that so many of us like feel like we are raised on.
I get that. And I get that, there have been men that like have tried to, for a minute, date me and then realize that that's the main issue that they're up against. That's what they can't process. They can't accept that lack of purity that I have. That I did flip the script. But not having a great home life growing up, not having money, I just couldn't allow anybody's opinion to come in the way of me not having the life I wanted to live.
But where did you get your confidence from?
Just not giving a fuck about what other people think, because I wanted what I wanted more than I wanted to care what they wanted for me.
How do you process that, Amber?
Yeah.
About not caring what other people think. I think as a performer, it's a kind of like an oxymoron in a lot of ways, because you have to care what people think in order to give them what they want to see in order to be successful.
You are looking for approval in some capacity.
Right, definitely. Right? A stand-up comedian,
of course,
can only do well if the
crowd likes them, right?
People are laughing. Comedy doesn't exist on its own like dance does or other kinds of art. Like comedy is a relationship. So caring what other people think is important. Though there are auteurs who did whatever they wanted and were still successful, but a lot of times after they died. So
right.
Do you know what I mean?
Well.
I'm seeing more and more, obviously, with OnlyFans and women becoming more okay, like blurring the lines of what is moral, what is immoral, and what we can make money on, and how you can still be respected. Do you believe now in this day where Kim Kardashian had a sex tape and then became, successful on her own business ventures, that you can cross industries? Because the main ideology or justification that you shouldn't, as a woman, do anything in the adult film industry is that when it's done, because not everybody can take their success like you did and funnel it into different businesses and make your own career. A lot of women age out and then want to get hired in other fields and can't because of one quick Google search and they're done.
It's a huge issue.
Right.
And it's a huge issue, especially for those who have decided for whatever reason to get out of the business. Like maybe they got into the drug scene, what have you, and they're trying to rehabilitate their lives, and then they can't get a job. And then if they do go and get a job, day two, somebody's creeping on them, and it becomes a huge issue. And that's why I'm always just stressing the most important thing that you can do if you are going to start an OnlyFans, you cannot dabble. If you are going to get in the business, you cannot dabble. You have to go all in and save as much money as possible so you aren't getting denied a job later. So you can buy into businesses and be a silent partner. So you can find your little ways around to not be dealing with that type of exposure, because you could work with 300 people. All it takes is one person. And they could just email everybody that day something that was just inappropriate. It's something from your past that you didn't need your coworkers. That is an issue. I had a founder of an app called Con Connect on my podcast last week. And it made me think, he's an ex-con. And he explained the process of when you get out of jail.
Very similar, right? I see the analogy
very
there.
Similar. And how when you get out of jail, they give you this, like, you got to go see this person, this person, this person. You have to work, but nobody wants to hire you because you're an ex-con.
Especially if you're a felon.
Right, exactly. Can't get a realtor license, all this. And I thought to myself, like, I wonder if there could ever be something like that for the adult industry, where there would be businesses that would understand this is what this person used to do. But a lot of the girls, like, I just did a shoot last week in LA for my photos for my birthday, and I hired a retired girl from the industry who's now doing hair and makeup, and I want to help her get that leg up in doing her new thing. There are careers and people are becoming more open-minded, but it definitely is harder. It's 99% harder to fit in with society. It's harder to live in an apartment building. Like, it's harder to have neighbors. Like, everything is all about what you already did.
And it feels very double standard. Of course, it's double standard, right? That like the same men who are paying for it don't want it in their workplace.
Right.
Right? They're like funding the industry, but when they can't fathom like they don't want it to hurt the brand or the image of the company, but them themselves have no problem partaking. So it's
Right.
you know, as in Miami, obviously, lots of girls I know are doing OnlyFans and making lots of money, and I'm, you know, thinking, of course, looking at it every now and then.
You might have taken a calf pic or two. You got some nice calves.
Right. But I also know that as a comedian, the things I face already are difficult. So how could that possibly
Yeah,
work
Lisa,
out
what
for
advice do you have, not only for Amber, but just for girls in general regarding OnlyFans? That's obviously a big thing right now. During the pandemic, how many strippers went online to OnlyFans? How many just normal
House moms.
Yeah, exactly. How many normal girls that weren't making money went on to OnlyFans? What advice do you have for women when it comes to OnlyFans?
Well, first of all, I want to give everyone credit who put food on their table without taking government assistance. And for these people who stepped up and said, I'm going to do this because I'm supporting my family or I'm doing this, there's a huge admiration from me for saying, okay, you already knew you could work from home and all you got to do is shoot cute pictures. You're going to make some money. Good for you, because it's legit money. You're getting paid through a platform where you do transfer the money into your bank account, but you're getting 1099. There's no shadiness about it. So like, there's that. On the other side, I have the concern for people that don't understand what comes with it when it comes to stalkers, creepy dudes. Like, I'll give you an example. I just read this story the other day. It freaked me out. A girl that has an OnlyFans lives in New Hampshire. One of her fans found out where she lived. He broke into her house. He hid in her attic. He lived in her attic for weeks. He duplicated her house keys. He shot video of her sleeping. And finally, it was her mother that realized somebody was up there, and he got arrested, of course. But
before he'd
never hurt her.
He's just watching.
Holy
He was
shit.
just watching her sleep. He tried to tell the cops that she had a rape fantasy and he was planning on raping her. So now they're going through all of her profile to see if she ever used these words.
Still completely unacceptable. I don't care what kind of fantasy she's had.
Unacceptable, but
Right.
it does concern me for the backlash that even these moms might feel. You bring up a great point with the workspace. Now maybe they are going back to their office. Are
Right.
people going to treat them fairly? Maybe now they are dropping their kids back off at school. Are the other moms and dads who only know they're on OnlyFans because they probably watch their shit?
Right.
But are they going to mistreat them? So I think we're going to see the psychological aspect. Like, it was all profit margins during the pandemic. Now it's time for us to evaluate the psychological effects of it.
What advice do you have for these OnlyFans women or women in general that are getting cash, boom, 1099, or even strippers, you know, people get, I know you've talked
Save.
about, okay. Talk about that, what
Save.
you tell women.
First and foremost, I ask every young girl to get ahead of her taxes, because I've seen, you know, in the past, I remember being like I was telling you, I was 25, 26 years old, and Janine, who is like the most beautiful girl in the industry, she did a duo with Julia Ann, and she went to jail for tax evasion. And I was like, this is real. Like, this can happen to somebody I know. This beautiful
Right.
woman's going to go to jail. So then I learned that when she got out of jail, she still owed that money. Like, they only cut back
We're
your
talking
interest.
tons of money, right? Not little.
We're talking tons of money, but you know, you can
Tens of thousands of dollars.
tens
is
of
what you
thousands of
probably owe.
dollars that when you're not paying,
Yes.
your interest rate goes up to 33% a day. So every 3
Jesus.
days, you're tripling what you owe. You know, so it just added up. And so the first thing I talk to any young performer is taxes. Like, get ahead of it. You know, at least do quarterlies, but best thing for you to do is just start a corp and pay yourself as an employee. You know, get this going right away. A business manager is a great outlet if you can find somebody you trust. I have one. Thank you, Scott Goober. Shout out. Takes care of everything. It allows me to live off the grid because I don't get any mail where I live. All of my bills go to his office. He is my power of attorney. He takes care of everything for me. And then also I just kind of lay it out, like, if you save this much money now, you'll have this much money later. The importance of your credit. Even if you have money, you still have to have great credit. And just reeling it in, because stuff will own you. And like, for every outfit I ever bought, and even when I was done with the Palin stuff, I sell that stuff to fans. So when I would wear an outfit on set, there's a website called My Sexy Auctions, and I know a lot of OnlyFans models are using it as well, because we're not allowed to sell things on OnlyFans. That's one of their things. They don't want us selling, and I get that. Credit card processors, you know, people chargebacks, all these things. So as soon as I would wear an outfit, I'd take pictures of it on set. I'd put the thing up, just wore this on set today, and I would sell it, the whole thing, the shoes, the stockings, the whole thing. So I would double or triple the initial investment that I paid for that lingerie, and then I'd put it back into the next thing. And so there's so many ways to make money. So there's no reason you can't save 70% of it, especially when you're young. What do you need money for? You don't have to have a flashy car. You know, you have to have a nice car. Just, you know, go with a Lexus. It's a nice car, but it's not too expensive. You know what I mean? You don't need the Mercedes. You know, you don't need the Maserati when you're 24. So I really just start them small, and also understanding the importance of not accumulating stuff that has value. Sell it to your fans immediately. Make money off of that. And don't put anything on credit cards that you're not paying off every single month. Like, that's just stupid, because you make enough money. There's no reason for you to use a credit card to buy stuff. And I really just kind of build on being financially responsible, how empowering it feels for a young woman to know that she can do what she wants. She can take a month off if she wants to go to a different country and travel, and she has the money to do that, the financial stability to do that.